Hi there, today we're talking about the meaning of life. Very important topic, and it's come up recently in different podcasts across the world. Some of the philosophers, anyone from Richard Dawkins, the avowed atheist and evolutionary biologist, or Jordan Peterson, the Canadian psychologist and philosopher, as he's now turning out to be. But it is a fundamental question. Some would say the fundamental question: what is the meaning of life? Or is there even a meaning of life? Monty Python did a movie called The Meaning of Life. Anyway, the answer is yes, there is a meaning to life, but the simplest way to deal with it is to start off by confining it to the meaning of human life. So let's deal with human life first. We can move on to all life later. So what is the meaning of human life? Well, to come up with an answer to that question that is logical, that follows well from evidence that you can see, evidence that you can test, evidence that you can measure, you basically need to look at the human body itself in order to understanding the meaning of life, the purpose of life. Now, the human body is basically set up to be a highly mobile and highly efficient thinking machine. That's essentially what we are. The brain is highly efficient. It's probably the most efficient organ of any organism, living organism, right? So there's no animal now or throughout history with a more efficient organ than the human brain. No one can beat that. We only use 10, 11% of it. And it doesn't take much energy to do magnificent things, solve magnificent problems. And that's been proven over time and time again. So essentially, the meaning of life and the purpose of life of human life, is for us to go about and basically perpetuate this highly mobile and efficient thinking machine, which is what the human is. And we're able to reproduce as well. So there is meaning and purpose in that as we improve over time. Now, in the brain, just to give one point, since 2000 and the invention of the diffusion tensor imaging machine, we've been able to diagram and show the living brain working. So before then, it was looking at the brains of dead people. And after the DTI, the diffusion tensor imaging machine, was created, you could actually see it in real time of a living person. One of the things that came out of that was the full understanding of myelin, or white matter, which basically wraps itself around neural networks and helps you think with less distraction, less noise, a bit like insulation on an electric wire. And practice makes perfect, because practice makes myelin better and more efficient at things as you practice things. And that practice leads to myelin being created in your brain, including on the right side of your brain, that allows you to do things better and more efficiently over time, because you learn how to do things better and better. And the myelin that comes from that practice exists in your brain, collects in your brain, and basically wraps around pathways to make brain communications more efficient and less distracted. So we can basically see that the human body is a mobile and efficient thinking machine that, as it does things, gets better and better and more efficient. And then it has dopaminergic circuits that basically make you feel better about it. Some of the work that Jordan Peterson talks about with Carl Friston, I think his name is, shows that entropy causes anxiety, so disorder or chaos causes anxiety. So as you get towards your goal, entropy goes down because you're close to the goal. Entropy goes down and anxiety goes down, and you start getting positive feelings. And that's why in some running races, people seem to get faster towards the finishing line. It's basically their brain telling them to run faster, because the entropy, the disorder, is decreasing as they get close to the goal. The dopaminergic hits and you feel better. And that's a very simple way of explaining it, but it's true. But in terms of human life, you have to understand the meaning and purpose of it in terms of the efficient, mobile nature of us as thinking machines, highly efficient thinking machines, more efficient than any other animal and any other machine, by the way. No machine can replicate the human brain with the same amount of efficiency, power usage. It's not possible. Can't be done. Cannot. So the purpose of human life is for humans to exercise their unique ability to perceive and think, and to get better with the creation of myelin over time, and get better at things. And as a final thing, just have a bit of a think about your eyes, your ears, your five senses, and anything beyond the five senses, consciousness. The reality is that's a vast amount of data. Your human body is set up to take in vast amounts of data, terabytes of data per second. Now, you can only process so much of that, right? And it depends on concentration and conscientiousness and so on and so forth, and a philosophical grounding and foundational wisdom that will help you. That's one of the things we're into, orientating towards apex wisdom, so you can deal with all of the vast amount of data that hits you every second and you can benefit from it, right? But that basically means the meaning and purpose of human life is to use our faculties to perceive and then think about the world and then synthesize it into a better way of living. That's the meaning of your life, your faculties, your abilities, and it's the purpose of your life to get better at living. Go to it. Let me know what you think. Andrew at keops.com.au. Thanks.